So, the protagonist is writing in a book, thinking, I need to stay calm because even a tiny bit of fear can pull you into the darkness. At least, that's what he's learned in the past 2 years. During that time, he's had one goal: survive. Then someone knocks on the door and says, Lin, it's time. Go hang the light outside and get ready to open the store. Right then, he gets a mission from some kind of system. Mission: hang the lamp outside. Reward: skull coin, experience, and pure human blood. This is the first time he's seen this system, but there's no time to think about it. He has to follow the boss's orders right away. When he opens the door, a giant Frankenstein-style figure shows up. He greets, Professor, you're back already? But in his head, he's thinking, I'm going to die. That's what he thought when he first showed up here 2 years ago. But now, he's kind of used to it. Frankenstein's carrying a body. Our protagonist remembers, it was 2 years ago that I was saved by this professor and learned all the medical skills from him. He lights the candle, spills a drop of blood, and the reaction drives away all the souls nearby, lighting up the facade. He gets the rewards from the system and is surprised that such a simple mission earned him such good stuff. Suddenly, an old toothless woman carrying a head appears in front of him. Good morning, young man. Got any junk you don't need for this old woman? The system gives him another mission. Give the old lady something useless. He looks back and says, yeah, hold on. He knows it's the butcher, and he needs to get rid of her quickly. He hands her 2 red, spiky objects that are trembling. She thanks the young boy, and he gets his rewards from the system. Then she says, you've got a good heart. Here, take this. It's your reward. She gives him the eyes from her face. The system says he can either accept or refuse, but if he refuses, he'll lose 50 favorability points with her. He hesitates for a second, but then says, thanks a lot, I'll take them. She thanks him and leaves. There's a super important rule here. Never offend the walkers of the darkness. While the professor is busy, he checks the system. All his stats are basic, and the description says he's a fragile yet intelligent young human who's been surviving in this world for 2 years. But you never know when he might die. Lin notices that this system feels a lot like a game. Just then, Professor Frankenstein opens the door and tells Lin, I'm going out for a bit. I'll be back in 2 days. Take care of the store, and don't let anyone steal anything. The professor's name is Bloodsaw, and the system's combat info just says, don't mess with him, Lin. Seriously. Before leaving, Bloodsaw adds, don't forget to feed the little baby after closing the shop. He hasn't eaten in a while. Lin gets the same mission from the system. Bloodsaw warns, no matter what you hear outside, never leave the range of the soul lamp. If someone asks for help, ignore them. Lock the door and windows at night, and stay quiet no matter who calls for you. If anyone comes in, kill them all. Got it? Lin thinks, these 2 days are going to be torture. Sitting at the table with the blade, he just waits. As soon as the clock strikes, someone knocks on the door. Excuse me, is the owner there? Lin approaches the door and looks through the peephole. He sees a little girl holding a doll, and the system gives him a mission. Mission: help take care of the injured doll. In the system's attribute window, it warns of a wandering soul from the valley looking for her mother, with the doll as her ally. Anyone who tries to steal her doll will end up in her belly. With tears in her eyes, the girl pleads, please, my doll is hurt. Can you save her? Lin checks the soul lamp and notices that the reaction isn't too strong, so the girl doesn't seem that dangerous. He opens the door and invites her in. Thanks to the soul lamp, nobody can enter unless he invites them, or if they're really powerful. To keep his job, he has to treat customers well. The girl says, my doll lost her arm, and no matter how hard I look, I can't find it. When he examines the doll's arm, the system says the bite pattern matches the girl's mouth, and the blood on her clothes belongs to the doll. He's impressed that the system can help so much with the diagnosis. Then he asks, little girl, did you eat anything recently? She says, no, I haven't eaten in days, and I'm so hungry. So hungry that last night I dreamed I was eating all sorts of delicious things. Meat, hair, ears, everything I love. And it was delicious. As she's opening her monster mouth, her doll echoes, yes, everything was delicious. Lin's sanity takes a hit. He tells her, I think you might have eaten your doll's arm in your sleep. Lin asks, do you feel any discomfort in your belly? She replies that her belly feels a little itchy, like something wants to come out. He says, That's probably it. So the arm isn't being digested. Do you want surgery or a different solution? The girl awkwardly says she wants surgery. But how will it be? The doll also says she wants surgery. He pulls Bloodsaw's blade from the table and says, "It's simple. I'll cut your abdomen, open your stomach, remove the arm, and then sew it back together." The girl seems scared. "And what about physical therapy?" "This one's even simpler. The price will be even lower." "So I want this one," the girl says. She sits in the chair. He tells her to open her mouth as wide as possible. Lynn smells a terrible odor coming from her. He puts a metal circle in her mouth to prevent her from biting and pushes the arm inside her stomach. The girl is writhing in agony, but he tells her not to move. It'll be over soon. He searches inside her stomach until he finally manages to pull out the arm. She's agonizing in pain, and he confirms, "You really accidentally ate your doll's arm. She just didn't tell you because she knew you were hungry." He manages to reconnect the doll's arm, earning a lot of points in the system. Lynn looks at her and says, 10 for physical therapy, 30 for sewing, 70 for medicine. A total of 110 skull coins. "Thank you very much. Hope to see you again." The girl seems timid, takes some coins from her pocket and throws them to him. "I only have 20, she says. He stops for a second. "This says you still owe 90 coins. You can use part of your body as collateral." "It's okay." Part 6. "I'll do it for free for you." The girl takes a step back, afraid. "I still have 10. "Great. Now you owe 80. She says he can keep the medicine and she'll buy it next time. "All right, now you owe 20 coins. She asks if she can pay on credit and come back later to pay the rest. But Lynn says, "It's a small store. We can't offer credit. How about leaving an eye as collateral? Relax. When you earn the money, you can buy it back." She cries and says, "All right." The doll says, "No, Mom, don't do it." But the eye has already been taken out and stored in a jar. He then receives a lot of items and money from the system. A pig without an eye enters the store. He's the owner of the butcher's shop in the Valley of Wandering Souls. He's your friendly neighbor and is very happy to share a prey he just caught with you, or share you with others. Lynn looks at the pig, noticing that the lamp is turning very red. "Welcome to Sanguine Blood's pharmacy. Is there anything I can help you with?" He thinks that thanks to the action of the soul lamp, monsters usually don't attack him, especially because if they do, he can use the power of the soul to suppress them. However, this doesn't work properly with those extremely corrupted ones. In the end, it's a ruleless world. The pig passes through the door and enters the shop. "Damn that old lady. She tore out one of my eyes just because of junk." Lynn asks, "Do you want to do this here or on the operating table?" The pig says he wants to do it here, thinking no one has the courage to lay on that operating table. Lynn tells him to rest his head on the table and stay still. "If it hurts, you can scream." The pig jokes, "Scream in pain." Lynn then pulls out the blade and heats it on the candle. The pig trembles, wondering why he's heating a knife to reattach an eyeball. Lynn approaches and says, "You have some blood clots and some stones in your eye. But it's all right, I'll clean them for you." The pig sees him approaching. "What's that for?" "It's a kind of super glue. It'll prevent your eyeball from falling out again when combined with a healing potion." Lynn then reinserts the eye, saying, "Believe me, I'm a professional." With a hammer in hand, the pig's sanity drops by 20. The pig asks what he's doing with the hammer. Lynn tells him to calm down and stay still. This is the last step of the procedure. Lynn delivers another hammer blow, but then Lynn stops, looking stressed. The pig asks, "What is the problem?" Lynn tells him that unfortunately, the eye is in the wrong position, and he will need to redo the surgery. But don't fret, the fix is going to be free because I am a friendly doctor. The pig screams in pain and fear. But after some time, Lynn hands him medicine, instructing him to take it twice a day orally and to apply the other one to the skin. Then he asks if he can leave now. Lynn says, "Of course you can. Go ahead." However, the system notifies Lynn that he has activated a secret mission from the pig head, the unusual stomach. As a reward, Lynn would receive the visual diagnosis ability. Then Lynn says, "Wait there." The pig asks, "What's the problem?" Lynn calmly explains, "I just noticed a problem and I need to tell you. If I don't, I can't call myself a doctor anymore." The pig sits in the chair saying, "Okay, I believe you for now, but if it's a trick, I won't spare you." He asks to see his pulse, and Lynn gains experience in diagnosis. The pig grows impatient, asking, "What is the problem?" Lynn takes a moment and then says, "It's a serious matter. The pig trembles. After staring at each other for a moment, Lin says, "It's an ectopic pregnancy." The pig grabs Lin by the collar, saying he's a man, not a woman. Lin calmly replies, "That's why I'm saying it's an ectopic pregnancy. It would be even more problematic if you had a uterus. We'd have to perform an even more difficult gender surgery." The pig throws him into the chair. Frustrated, Lin asks what he's thinking. The pig replies, "I'm thinking about how I'm going to cut your hand off." Lin says, "Stop thinking about these useless things." He adds, "You've been experiencing swelling, nausea, loss of appetite, and bleeding in the lower region." The pig seems shocked by the fact that Lin knows all of that. Lin calmly takes notes and asks if anything else has happened. The pig mentions some stomach pains, and Lin asks, "How long has it been?" "About a month," the pig replies. Lin thinks a bad meal wouldn't cause pain for that long. Then he asks, "When was the last time you tried to reproduce? Do you have any strange fantasies, like joining many people or using unconventional tools?" The pig shouts, "I doubt you'll say that again." Lin responds, "Okay, I won't ask that again. Based on everything you've told me, it seems like you're not experiencing a normal pregnancy. It appears that you consume something with abnormal powers, causing a mutation in your body, indirectly leading to an ectopic pregnancy." The pig repeats, "Ectopic pregnancy?" Lin says, "Lately, haven't you felt satiated even after eating a lot? You have sunken eyes, pale skin, and a cold pulse. All of these are possible symptoms when an evil spirit parasitizes you. Put your hand here. This is an exorcism potion. It will check if you're parasitized by an evil spirit." The pig approaches and sniffs, then plunges his hand in, and spirits begin to emerge. Seeing this, the pig jerks his hand back, feeling something moving in his belly. Lin grabs a pan and hits his belly. The pig asks what that thing was, and Lin says that the preliminary diagnosis confirms it's an ectopic pregnancy caused by an evil spirit parasite. Lin asks, "Have you eaten anything dirty lately?" The pig admits, "Yes, about a month ago. I fed on a guy when I went out, but it went straight to my belly, so it's not like I actually ate it. Besides, I've only eaten pork and human meat." Lin reassures him, "All right, let's take a look inside. Come with me." The pig follows Lin to the operating room. "What's this about?" The pig wonders, imagining the operating room. Then he runs to the table, grabs a pen, and marks a cross on his belly. "There, now I'm ready again." He presses a button. Chains appear to restrain his hands and feet, and the pig starts screaming in despair. After a lot of cuts and blade experience, Lin says, "Congratulations! It was a smooth birth, a bloody and mature baby." The pig looks at his belly as Lin starts sewing. "Maybe now isn't the best time to say this, but I still have to tell you the total cost of the surgery. It's 300 skeleton coins." Lin passes the needle and stitches the wound. All done. He pours a potion on the wound, and the pig writhes. "Congratulations." Everything went smoothly with the surgery. By completing the secret quest, Lin gained more experience, and the pig acquired another 200 fear points of him. Looking at the creature that came out of the pig's belly, Lin says, "Even though she's being parasitized by evil spirits, if you take care of her well, who knows? Maybe she'll become a very healthy child." But the pig is already running away, fleeing. Lin tries to warn him, "Sir, you forgot your daughter." The pig says he left her as part of the payment too. Lin wonders, "What am I going to do?" "Well, I'll take care of her temporarily. Who knows? Maybe when the professor returns, he'll have her as a little snack along with wine." He takes a look and sees in the system, "Deformed infant spirit, female gender, level 2. Then the system gives a secret mission. The evil spirit inside her is corrupting her appearance. The longer it takes, the more terrible she will become. He has 4 options. He can turn her into lamp oil, feed her to the creatures in the garden, preserve her as a specimen, or wait for the pig to come pick her up. Our guy thinks the first 3 are too cruel. The only thing written in the reward is waiting for analysis, which is a bit confusing." That's when he remembers. "Oops, I forgot to feed the creatures in the back." He puts her in a jar and says, "You stay here. I'll take care of something," he says, and goes to the back of the store. Phew, thank goodness the system mentioned this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have remembered. He takes off the lid, already sweating a bit, pours something inside, and loses 10 affection points for whatever is there. But at least he fed it. When he returns to the shop, the creature is gigantic. His sanity is already decreasing just by looking at it. 30 sanity. But Lin is more worried that she became so ugly that the pig won't even recognize her as his daughter. Now what am I going to do? He's already tied her to the bed. You know what? I'll do him a big favor and give her a makeover. He's all happy there, mistreating the creature until someone knocks on the door. When he opens it, there's a burnt mummy standing there. Ah, welcome to our store. The system shows a 99% burn evil spirit carrying great malice against anything. That's beautiful. Our guy says, all right, take a seat. Wait a little while. I have another surgery to finish. Let's take care of this child first. After some time, he finally succeeds. Lin is happy with the results, saying he had great manual skills before traveling to this world. I just didn't expect to use those skills here. But then he notices there's still a third eye in the middle of her forehead. Whoa. A third eye? Venom came out of it. He warns her not to show that eye in the middle of her forehead, or he'll have to use the blade again. As he looks outside, he realizes it's time to close. He checks the time using the saw lamp. The weaker the light, the later it is. When it goes out, it's nighttime. As he goes to remove the lamp, a hooded figure appears, claiming to be a demon hunter. The system warns him, you'll die. A powerful hunter who walks alone in the world of darkness. Don't try to understand. He's very dangerous. Our guy stares, wondering if he's human. It's the first time he's seen one in 2 years. The hooded figure says, I need treatment. Some combat and recovery potions. The system activates the mission. 500 coins just to treat his injuries. The problem is, the mission fails if our guy gets killed by him. Come in, sir. Nice to meet you. What's the problem you need to treat? Our guy says, thinking at least he's a human. They're usually easier to understand. The guy stands up, showing his arm with a purple thing on it. It's not good. It's beating on its own, the hunter says. The system finishes the preliminary diagnosis. Your arm is being corroded by black butterfly venom, Lin tells him, and he responds, oh man, so you recognized it? I underestimated you, the guy says. Some red Dresco set me up and used this nasty thing on my arm. Lucky for her, I wasn't in good health once. This is better. I'll look for her. I'll help you, our guy says, thinking, how am I going to treat this guy? He won't leave otherwise. I'll have to perform surgery on your arm. Our guy gets his blades ready. Okay, I'll start. This place doesn't look like a clinic to me, but more like a slaughterhouse. And this skinny guy is freaking me out, the hunter mutters. Do you need anesthesia? Lin asks. Anesthesia will only slow down my reflexes. A real man never uses it. Why does it look like you're preparing for a meal? The demon hunter asks, getting nervous. Chill. It's all part of the procedure. It's just to catch the blood in some parts of your arm. During the operation, our guy tranquilizes him. Damn it. If there wasn't anywhere else within at least 100 meters, I'd get out of this hell. Hey, if it hurts, you can ask for anesthesia. It's okay, our guy says. The guy with tears in his eyes says, huh? You've already started? I didn't even realize. It's like you're making noodles. What do you want? Hurry up and finish. When I'm done, I guarantee you'll come back later. The poor guy is lying there drooling. Our guy made a mountain of stuff from his arm. He looks at his back. Did the devil do this? He mutters, picking up the stones. The guy is shocked. What did you do to me? He asks angrily. Did you like it that much? Our guy replies innocently. The hunter starts cursing at him and tries to attack. But our guy dodges. Hey, I'm still trying to save you, you know. Acting shamelessly like this. I will not allow you to kill me first. I won't let a patient leave in the middle of treatment, our guy says firmly. The demon hunter can't believe it. He pulls out his blade. Stop playing with me, finish this already, he demands. A shot is fired into the air, and the next scene shows the poor guy already tied up. Why did you tie me up? He asks. It's just that I think you won't be able to handle the pain and then you'll want to hurt me again. God, what are you doing? The guy cries. Please help me, our guy reassures him. I'm just scraping the bones. Relax. Come on, please stop it, the guy pleads as the saw approaches. Suddenly, a little girl enters the shop. Is this the place? Is anyone here? I came to buy some healing potions, she says nervously. Suddenly, she's grabbed by the leg. Help! Help! She screams when she sees our guy with the saw behind the hunter. She screams in despair. Lin looks at her and says, Hi, did you come to get some potions? I just have to finish with this patient of mine and I'll get them for you. The poor girl gets desperate, gaining 70 fear points of him. The system says the scare he gave her developed a psychological disorder. The girl went from excited to shy. new terror of patience. Lin is surprised. Wait, how did I become so scary just by seeing her? I offered the potions and gave a smile. Man, this system keeps giving weird rewards. Giving a glare to the hunter who was trying to leave, Lin says, "Oh, you're trying to run away? The operation isn't over yet. We're back." The guy punches in pain. Lin gives a little pat on his shoulder. "It's over. All the toxins that invaded your bones are completely gone now. Just wait for your bones and muscles to regenerate a bit, and your arm will be as good as new." But the poor guy isn't finished. "Wake up, sir. Wake up." The system speaks with special methods. You incapacitated a legendary demon hunter. Reward: the one who inflicts pain. Effect increases by 5%. The pain you cause using various tools. Sometime later, the hunter wakes up. "Where am I?" He quickly gets up and tries to shoot twice. "Get away from me." He's losing sanity again. Lin is against the wall. "Calm down. Calm down. I just took care of your injuries. Look, everything's fine. Forget about those bad memories." The guy points to Lin but thinks, the feeling of that butterfly demon is really gone. This is almost like a dream. Lin reassures him. "Of course it is. The muscle toxin that was affecting you has been removed. The problem was the regeneration of your bones and muscles. That's why I gave you the best potion from the store, along with your extremely strong physique. Everything went well. The only problem was that there was still a little piece missing in the middle, so I added some extra meat." "Don't worry, your body won't reject it," Lin says reassuringly. The guy looks puzzled. "Wait, what's this?" "Pork meat," Lin responds casually. "You said you did everything right. You put a piece of pork in me." Lin answers, "Well, it's a weird process, isn't it? But the result is perfect. No worries. If you ever have any problems in the future, you can come back here and I'll help you." The hunter, clearly annoyed, says, "Returning here? You think I want to come back here? The chance of a crisis has skyrocketed." "Well, my client, even though the process was peculiar, having the butterfly venom corrupt your entire body until you die would have been much worse. In this world of darkness, staying alive is more important than anything else." The crisis level drops to 99%. The guy holding it together listens as Lin continues. "You're right. In this world, being alive is more important than anything else." He turns to Lin and adds, "Just for that? You're alive. That's quite an achievement. Your torture us methods are top-notch." "Thank you," Lin says. The hunter pulls him up, staring intensely. "Do you think I'm praising you, kid? Have you ever performed any other surgeries in your life?" Lin raises 3 fingers. "I swear I performed a cesarean section on someone, and the father and daughter were very happy. They even praised me." The guy, considering his bone-shaving experience compared to a cesarean, acknowledges that his wounds have indeed been healed, remembering how scared he was. He stares at Lin and says, "Hey, no one can know about the rumor that I fainted here, understand? You can rest assured no one will find out," Lin says. "Just tell me how much all this costs. There's no way I'm coming back to this place. You don't even need to pay. Consider this a favor from someone of the same race. I just want to see you visit our mall again in the future." Lin knows he needs to become friends with this guy. With that, the system gives him 500 coins. The guy, however, doesn't think these compliments will help him with anything. "Just forget everything that happened here. Even if we're of the same race, it doesn't change anything. I walk alone and will never take a kid like you to share the path with me." He puts on his hat and says, "I'm giving you this chance. Get out of here. A human like you, with no skills, will soon become monster food." Lin asks how he can leave this world. "To be honest, I ended up here by accident. Apart from this pharmacy, I don't know anything about the outside world." The guy looks at him. "In a way, you're lucky. Many people have fallen into this world like you, from various worlds, but most have been consumed by fear. I can only tell you that this is the lowest level of Sin City, and trying to leave here is the quickest path to death. If you don't want to die, get stronger. Only then will you have a chance to escape this place." "Hold on. Are you saying it's almost impossible to leave for the rest of my life? Every time I see those monsters, I'm terrified. With your medical skills, the monsters must be terrified of you. But enough chit-chat. I'm someone who believes in fair exchange. You healed my wounds and I can't treat you unfairly just because you don't want money." He opens his coat, revealing his belongings. "Take a look and choose something." Lin, intrigued, examines the items. What should I choose? Oh, this one looks good." He picks up a cursed revolver from a legendary demon hunter, enchanted with 6 self-reloading bullets. Lin eagerly grips the handle. "Your eye is sharp, kid. Eager to grab the best I have. I just found your weapons." "Cool." Lin replies. Of course they're cool. How many monsters have you killed with those? The hunter explains. None. I've never used them to kill a single monster, Lin admits, firing a shot at the wall, creating a circle. They may look cool, but both have a fatal flaw. And you must have noticed, they never hit the target, no matter the angle. Besides being decorative, they serve no purpose. What do you mean I don't want them then? Lin protests. But the hunter insists. As a man of justice and integrity, once you've chosen them, you can't refuse them, or it would be disrespectful on my part. You have a chance. Take them, or I will do something. Lin considers, then decides to take them, thinking he'll dispose of them later. Good choice. Just know that due to their curse, you can't voluntarily get rid of them. They can only be transferred through a fair exchange. Luckily, your intense desire attracted them, as curses like to find someone to pass on to. It's not easy. You're clearly trying to pull a fast one on me. This surgery was a lot of work, and I owe you this big favor. As an extra reward, I'll remind you tonight, no matter what you hear or how terrified you get, don't go outside and don't open that door. Lin asks, seems like something extraordinary happened here. Is it a monster or what? But the man disappears into the shadows. I think it's better if you don't know. If you manage to stay alive until tomorrow, maybe we'll meet again. Lin reflects on how his teacher said the same thing before going out tonight. He needs to be much more careful. There's half an hour until darkness. No visitors should come during this time. He stares at the little creature on the ground, already level 7. This child keeps leveling up. Soon it'll be difficult to deal with. Then he uses the Chicago toy, barely missing the target. The fear in its eyes is evident. It really doesn't hit hard to believe. He continues shooting, instilling fear in the creature. The lamp starts to dim. Our protagonist rushes to the door, closes it, and breathes a sigh of relief. Now, with the lamp disabled, the real test begins. It means anyone, even without permission, can enter his house of their own accord. The system activates a mission: Sleepless Night. The objective is to survive until dawn, with a reward of 500 coins and a special item. In his room, our protagonist is already under the covers, armed and ready to face whatever comes. Phew. Nothing so far. I just want to survive this night. It's midnight, and someone is already knocking on the door. Open up. It's me, Bloodsoul. There's a malevolent spirit following me. Help me. Wait, is the professor back? Our protagonist wonders as he cautiously approaches the door. He suddenly attacks the door. You didn't even confirm it was me before you slashed at me, the outsider protests. If I were outside, my professor wouldn't hesitate to do the same. Besides, he wouldn't come back at this hour. As they argue, he hears a noise outside. Our protagonist leans in to listen, but suddenly hands grab him, causing him to lose sanity. He struggles as the hands grip him tightly, but manages to break free by using the hair from the malevolent spirit. As the hands retreat, he wonders if they're alive or dead, but decides it's better to be safe and delivers the final blows. You killed the Deceiver of Flesh and gained 100 experience points. Part 22. Phew. I managed to survive, but the monster knocked on the door right at midnight. Who knows what this night still holds? As he cleans the floor, the system gives 2 warnings. The root level monster is approaching, and the crisis level is at 100%. Our protagonist, already at the door, wonders if it's the creature everyone has been mentioning. He waits, and the hand starts to move. Suddenly, he's being pulled. He grabs his knife, smelling something awful. When he looks, there are 2 huge eyes staring at him. He quickly hides again, but the eye is right behind the door, facing him. Darn it, this monster's heartbeat is so loud! He hears licking sounds. It's kind of cute, until the lick reaches my face. No, that's not cute. Forget that. He loses 40 sanity. Trembling? I can't panic. If I do, I'll be eaten. The monster licks his cheek lightly. Doctor, I found you. Open the door. I have a toothache. A toothache? Is the monster not here to eat me but to get a dental checkup? Our protagonist responds. Our little clinic doesn't receive patients at night. Those are the rules, and I must follow them. But the creature threatens, open up, or I'll eat you. Reluctantly, he opens the door. Hello, my dear client. This clinic will serve you. The monster's level, race, and abilities are unknown. It complains about a toothache, unable to eat. Don't worry, I can definitely help you. A toothache is such a small thing. It'll be quick, he reassures himself, thinking, it's horrible, but it's a client like any other. Just another day. As he approaches the monster's mouth, he activates the system's mission to treat the toothache. offering 1,000 coins, 50 favor points with the unknown creature, and no penalties. He thinks, of course there won't be any penalties. There won't be anything left of me. Now he has to rely on his medical skills. The only problem is, it's dark. The creature's tongue moves to take his own eyes, then uses the eyeball to light the place. Thank you. Now everything's clear. The inside is full of decomposed creatures. The menu is quite unique. Inside there, he finds a legendary lance, damaged but still there. It's a spear from an unknown world that fell into the realm of darkness, blessed with sacred power, strong against anomalous spirits and demons. I found this lance similar to the hunter's weapon. It doesn't belong to this world. Besides, the sacred attribute is what causes so much pain. The creature tells him to pull it out. Lin is shocked. Inside the creature there are tons of healer items. Demon eyes, doctor's cursed healer body, doctor's eyeball. Maybe they all tried to deal with this lance in the last pharmacy that it went to. But being cursed creatures, they couldn't heal it. But I'm human. Sacred power shouldn't affect me. He touches it, and his finger turns purple. Oops. The big guy's staring at me. Phew. This is my chance. He starts pulling. The creature sends tentacles inside to help, and he manages to pull it out successfully, gaining 20 favorability points. However, it still hurts a lot. Lin thinks, I'm in deep trouble here, and if I don't calm down, I'll be eaten. Don't worry, I'll cure you, he reassures. Ignoring the terrifying appearance, he rushes to his shop, grabs several tubes, and returns to apply medicine to the root of the tooth, explaining that it's the residual power of the lance causing the pain. The problem is that there's too much blood. He thinks, how am I going to get into this? Suddenly, he sees a tentacle. Patient, you need this tentacle because I need it to alleviate your pain. He cuts it without waiting for a response. The creature approaches, asking what he's doing, but he's already there with the syringe. Turn on the light. Why are you staring at me? He taps the eye. Let's go up. He tries to enter the tooth, but it's too narrow. I need to go deeper. Where are the other tools? He finds a drill and starts inserting it into the tooth. The creature writhes in pain. You'll have to endure a little longer, he reassures it as he drills. Finally, the pain subsides. I was about to eat you, the creature says, now in a good mood. But now the pain is gone. Don't think about that. The medicine has started working. Now we just need to clean your teeth and fix everything up. He asks for a bucket, and the creature brings it. He cleans the tooth and asks for steel to repair it, but he doesn't have enough material. The creature offers to fetch it, eats him, and runs. In the next scene, they are facing a door. The problem is that Lin recognizes that the door is made of iron, not steel. The creature opens its mouth and shoots a laser, revealing a steel marionette with extremely strong combat capabilities. Lin calmly exits the creature's mouth and observes the marionette. He recalls how one of these caused havoc in his shop, forcing his boss to fight for 10 hours to get rid of it. The creature sticks out its tongue, crushing the marionette, then jumps and delivers a crushing blow. Lin is awestruck, realizing the massive difference in power between the two. The creature asks if it's enough or if it should continue. Lin assures it's enough and asks for help fixing the marionette, turning on the tools. Perfect, Lin says as he inspects the sharp teeth. The creature holds Lin, expressing its satisfaction. Very happy. Lin, sweating, gains 11 sculpt points and earns 50 favorability points. He's now ready to care for more patients with affection, love, and attention. Do you remember how in the last video it ended with him fixing the big mouth's teeth? The creature had promised not to eat him, and Lin thanked her, gaining 40 trust points. At that moment, he offers her an oral care service. She's curious and asks what that is. Lin explains it's a long-term service to ensure the health of her teeth. The big monster is a bit confused, so he offers a free trial to demonstrate. He immediately jumps into her mouth, activating the cleaning mission. He starts removing all the corpse remains and other debris in her mouth, collecting a bunch of human remains. Meanwhile, he places a black bucket on the floor. The monster asks, "What is that, sir?" Lin replies, "It's a black slime. It will sterilize your entire mouth and leave your breath feeling fresh." She responds, "Ah, okay. Amazing." The creature opens her mouth wide. Lin gains another 20 favorability points. He hops right in and starts scrubbing everything, and she's quite pleased. "I thought there was going to be some trick to this," Lin says, instructing her to hold the bucket to help out. He continues cleaning, earning another 20 favorability points. "How are you feeling?" he asks. She's thrilled with her shining teeth, giving Lin another 50 favorability points. She's already loving it. Are you satisfied with this service? He asks. The monster happily agrees. Lin then proposes, how about you become a lifetime member of our clinic? She agrees, and Lin says, okay, what's your name so I can create your record? Next time you come, you'll receive a special gift and a membership card. The creature doesn't understand what a name is. Lin explains, it's what other creatures call you. She replies, nameless. Lin offers, would you like me to give you a name? How about Xiao Xiao? The creature accepts the name and gives him a few licks as a thank you. Lin gains the title Root Namer, becoming the first human in the history of this world to give a root creature a name. With that, he gains more affinity points and the ability to remove curses. Xiao Xiao takes him back home, happily departing afterward. Our protagonist collapses behind the door. Phew, good thing I have a strong mindset, or I wouldn't have survived the night. Back in the shop, he opens the system. He has 8 points to spend. The system now introduces him as someone who has already caused fear and pain to a poor demon hunter. Our protagonist knows what to do with his attributes. Strength and agility aren't useful for now. He won't get strong enough to fight these creatures. Intelligence isn't crucial either since he can analyze situations using the system. So he invests more in constitution, focusing on staying alive. He checks out the skill he received. Limited curse removal. It cleanses a curse for 24 hours, can only be used on one target at a time, and has a 12-hour cooldown. Our protagonist thinks, wait, if I use this curse remover on the pistol, it's basically going to become a legendary weapon. He uses curse removal. Boom. You've removed the curse from the pistol. Cooldown. 12 hours. He's eager to test it out. He fires some shots at a bottle but misses everything. Ah, lying system. Where is it? The curse is still here. The system informs him, your proficiency with weapons is 0. Ah, crap. It was for nothing. Realizing he needs to practice, he sets up a bottle by the window and starts shooting. He gains some experience but realizes improvement won't happen overnight. Suddenly he hears a loud scream. Whoa, what happened outside? Someone yells, who is the son of a gun who ambushed me? The system notifies him. You hit a level 75 creature, the feeder of the night. Panic sets in. He goes to the windows and starts nailing planks to cover them. Phew, done. He hides everything and heads back to his room. The creature outside is shouting, where's the one who did it? Where? Lin crawls into bed, shaking all over. Despite the chaos, he manages to sleep and wakes up the next day, earning 500 coins for surviving the night. The system congratulates him. For your first day, it was incredible. You killed a monster, wounded another, psychologically traumatized various patients, and still woke up feeling prosperous. Tranquility, he mutters. With that, he reaches level 6 and unlocks the system's shop. Our protagonist thinks, my god, so many things from the system. As soon as he wakes up, the system sends another message. When you reach level 10, you'll be able to change professions. Keep an eye out. At that moment, Lin notices some tentacles emerging from his bed, so he instantly starts shooting, gaining proficiency. But it's just a little girl, adorable but with evil-looking tentacles. Startled, his fear of that creature increases by 20. No wonder I felt someone climbing over my body, he thinks. I'm curious how much this creature grew overnight. The system informs him that the creature has already reached level 10. The system then notifies him, since you reached 1321 fear points and 200 taming points, you've earned a mission, the growth of the child's spirit. He now has the ability to influence the creature's development. Our protagonist groans, do I have to take care of this and develop it too? Why can't it just develop on its own? But realizing that fear is what kept it from attacking him, he concludes that he needs to instill as much fear as possible to ensure it doesn't want to kill him. Poor thing, the little girl looks so innocent and cute in Lin's hand. But it's time to begin. Lin starts stretching her out, saying, it's time for your daily adjustment. She squirms, showing discomfort as he continues. Without my consent, you made all these weird tentacles. Her fear of him keeps increasing. Lin doesn't hesitate, even putting the tentacles back into the poor girl's mouth. Let Uncle Lin fix you up again, he says. And with a swift move, she's back to being a little girl, but this time with small tails added. Wow, how did he do that? Lin marvels at his own work. The system informs him that this new form will have a significant impact on her development. Feeling proud, Lin notes, just with the tentacle fabric, I managed to create these little ears. She turned out to be very cute. He tells the girl, "Keep this form and don't use those tentacles again." The system announces that the preliminary phase is complete, but now it's time to adjust her personality. Lin cracks a mischievous smile. Hey, let me give you a good education." He makes another adjustment, this time to her cerebellum, setting her personality direction. Sweet, obedient, and murderous. What's that, kid? Why murderous at the end? Lin asks himself, glancing at the psychological characteristics. Virtuous, cute, and morbid. Her growth direction is set as an adorable, sweet girl who can also become a cute girl spreading disaster and death as an evil spirit. Why do I always make the third aspect something terrifying? Lin wonders aloud, asking the system if he can tweak things a bit. The system responds that in this first stage, he can't make further adjustments. Only 2 adjustments were allowed. Lin peets the girl, reassuring himself, "I'll remove the negative parts later, then she'll be a perfect little girl." For now, that's what he has to work with. He decides it's time to open the shop. The little girl falls asleep after the transformation process. Lin takes the opportunity to practice his aim, clean up the place and put a candle outside. Sitting in a chair, he opens the system shop, already imagining the amazing items he might find. He's thinking about buying clothes for the girl, maybe a 9-tailed fox or a big shield. The shop offers items like slime mucus, a charm that attracts money, baby diapers, a growth elixir, magical meat blocks, and a succubus's enchanting perfume. Lin isn't impressed. What the heck is this system? Refresh this. I want new items. The system informs him that the refresh function is not yet available, advising patience. At 5 odd a.m., the items will change. Meanwhile, Lin decides to buy the toxic slime, thinking it could be useful for making potions in the future. Then he notices an unlucky cat that also brings money. Well, I'm a very lucky guy, right? Heh, I guess I'll buy it then. He spends 200 coins on the big cat, which appears in the store. He looks at the diaper, then at the little girl. Well, maybe I need to use this. He buys it too. Despite not liking the store initially, he ends up purchasing everything. He finally sees a growth elixir that helps heal wounds, thinking, yeah, this will help me a lot. He buys that as well. Lin is unstoppable. Today is the day the supplier comes to restock, so Lin prepares to replenish all his inventory. Just then, the butcher lady enters the store, asking the usual question. Young man, do you have something useless to give to this old lady? The system assigns a mission, and Lin brings out a bag of items he received yesterday. The old lady is surprised. Boy, do you have all this to give to me? Lin nods. Yes, ma'am, I can put it in the cart for you. She thanks him, and he completes the mission. However, the butcher lady senses the aura of a root-level creature inside the bag and is quite impressed. Lin explains, yesterday I had to deal with a root-level creature, and this was inside her mouth. The butcher lady is astonished. Boy, you dealt with a root-level monster and took something out of her mouth? Aren't you afraid of dying? I thought this human guy was ordinary. Didn't expect him to be so crazy. Lin shrugs. Afraid of what? I was just serving the customers of our store. No matter who comes in, I treat everyone equally. The old lady admires his bravery, saying, he's very brave. Last night, 3 abyssal root-level creatures were here along with a demon hunter. She advises him not to get in touch with any of them, still impressed with Lin's courage. She tells him that in the 3 nearby villages, all the people were killed by those monsters. Lin mentions that he served a demon hunter yesterday. The old lady speculates, maybe that's why he didn't go attack the Valley of Souls. Lin replies, I don't think that's the case. He was a pretty cute guy. I'd say it's impossible for him to be cruel. The old lady is puzzled. Cute? How do you find that guy cute? Lin responds, he was quite friendly, to be honest. The butcher lady, still impressed, watches as Lin gains more reputation. The butcher lady looks down, deep in thought. As expected, there are no normal existences in this dark world, especially those who seem normal. She continues, young man, the items you gave me are very valuable. I won't be able to digest them for a while. And this thing here that I picked up is quite useful. You can have it. Lin is taken aback. Wow! What's this? A heart? He loses 10 sanity points. Heart of a faceless demon. A cursed object that can be connected to the heart of a target. However, it requires a lot of fresh blood to work. The old lady explains, if you want someone to die, just think about them with this heart and use your most vicious methods. Boy, you will be able to reap much joy. Lin knows that nothing ordinary comes from this old lady. Just by the description, I know it's a lethal weapon. The old lady then leaves. At that moment, the carriage salesman arrives and Lin exchanges some items. He storms into the store, dumps his bag on the floor, and right then, someone knocks on the door. When he opens it, he's startled to see a girl with a really warm vibe. He says, "Hey, welcome to the store." She's impressed and mentions how well the boss's business is doing. The system pings, "Bloodthirsty spirit. She'll drain you slowly." Lin asks, "Is something wrong? Or do you need anything?" She replies, "Nope. I just moved nearby and wanted to introduce myself." "You're not going to turn me away, are you?" He says, "Oh, of course not. Some creatures don't have levels, and the soul lamp doesn't work on them." He tells her to take a seat, and she thanks him. If she's up to no good, there's not much he can do anyway. Better to try and befriend her. The system gives him a mission: survive for 30 minutes. He manages to do that. Is this woman a super dangerous monster? She points at him and asks, "Boss, you're not from around here, right? Aren't you worried about unfriendly customers?" He loses 10 sanity points right away. After a tense silence, he replies, "I'm a bit worried, but it's my job to help people. If someone's my patient, I take care of them. That's my rule." She stands up. "Interesting, but what if they're not your patient?" The seductive monster moves closer. He asks, "What do you mean by not a patient?" She whispers, "What if I'm here to eat you and drain all your fluids?" The crisis level shoots up to 61, but Lin keeps his cool and says, "No way, sister. You're too beautiful. I'm sure your inner beauty matches your outer beauty." She steps back, saying, "He knows how to flatter." The crisis level drops a bit. She sits down again. "Do you really think I'm beautiful?" Lin says, "Absolutely." Then she opens her mouth, and giant worms start coming out. He loses 30 more sanity points. Yikes. She's moving in closer. She keeps repeating, "I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful." The crisis level climbs to 81.85.90. She's getting closer. "Well, aren't you going to say something?" With the crisis at 99, Lin thinks the only way to deal with this is to kiss her. He even swallows the worms and struggles to breathe. It's all messy and gross. She's left stunned, her mouth still open, wondering what just happened. She's confused. There's definitely something off about this guy. He moves in to check her teeth. "Sister, you're amazing, but we need to make sure your oral hygiene is flawless. Let me give you a gentle clean." "What's that, buddy?" She's surprised. Next, she's looking at herself in the mirror, and he asks, "How's your breath now?" She just stares at herself, not saying a word. He comes over and puts a hand on her shoulder. "Beautiful, isn't it?" She's startled. "What's going on?" he asks. "Are you happy with my service?" She replies, "It's fine. Let's cut the chit-chat. I'm here for business." She asks, "Did you perform surgery on a pighead yesterday?" The crisis level jumps to 70. "Oh no." "Yeah, I did. What's the issue?" He thinks, "Uh-oh. This is bad. She's not here for revenge, is she?" She says, "You operated on it and took a child out, right?" He remembers that strange event. Who are you?" She says she's the child's mother and turns into a monster again, grabbing him. He tells her, "Hey, chill out, beautiful. I just want to know why you're interested in that demon pig. What's your reason for being here?" She says, "Of course, I'm here to get my child back." She must have turned into a monster by now, right? I'm dying to see murder, malice, resentment. My child has all those traits. Lin thinks, "Oh crap. If she sees her child now, she's going to kill me." He says, "I'll give you your child back." He says, "Yeah, she's definitely your daughter. Though she might look a bit different from what you're expecting." The woman hears a kid's voice and rushes over. "It's my child. I need to see what she's become." When she arrives, the child is just adorable and glowing. The woman smiles and looks at Lin. "Who's this?" Lin replies, "She's the baby I pulled out of the pighead yesterday. Isn't she cute?" The woman is stunned. "Wait, no way, this can't be my daughter." She pulls out a tentacle from her head and slaps it on the ground, which wraps around the kid's leg. The girl is scared, but the tentacle merges with her. And then she realizes, "It's my daughter." The protagonist picks up the little girl. Hee, miss, she's a really healthy baby. Looks just like you. If she's really your child, you can adopt her whenever you want." The demon is in shock, but the girl goes and gives her a kiss on the cheek. Her sanity drops. "Disaster! No way! How is this my daughter?" She collapses. Patient, what's wrong?" But she's already on the ground. The protagonist asks, "Miss, are you okay?" She snaps, "It was you, wasn't it? What did you do?" The crisis level jumps to 91. The demon unleashes a furious rage, but Lin is not easily fooled. He places the cute little kid right in front of her. She stops face to face and gets a little lick. The woman is totally confused. "Don't come any closer, child." But Lin holds her there. As she gets closer, the crisis level drops. She says, "Enough already. You've been talking nonsense for too long. I'm not looking for anything pure." But Lin cuts in, "You can't hide it, madam. Haven't you noticed? When you're in your human form, you move with such confidence and grace, especially in your gaze. Your charm, none of it is fake. Deep down, you've always wanted to look perfect too." She blushes, but looks like she's about to hit him. He holds her hand. "Calm down. Let me finish. I heard you say you use this scary look to lure prey, right? But in this dark world, humans are rare. I must be one of the few who fell for your stunning human beauty. Both of your forms really attract me." The monster is speechless, and the crisis level drops to 41. "Madam, even though you're an evil spirit, your search for beauty isn't wrong. You call yourself evil, but to me, you're beautiful." The crisis level drops to 20. "But you're still a bit carried away, aren't you? Look at the little girl. Isn't that proof of the beauty inside you?" The crisis level hits 0, and her affection for Lin increases by 10. Lin says, "Stop stalling and take her already." He hands her the child, who gives another little lick. She says, "This is the feeling. I never imagined being a mother." "You smooth-talking demon. Do you think your words change anything? I know you've changed my child. I'm your neighbor, so I'll come back when I'm interested and maybe eat you then." The little daughter gives her another lick, and she leaves. Phew. He slumps into a chair, relieved. "I really need to work on my combat skills. If I face something like this again, I might not be so lucky, especially if she comes after me at night. I need to get stronger. At least the professor will be back tonight, so I'll be safe. Oh, and the system gave me a new skill, right? Infectious Aura, a passive ability that boosts persuasion and reduces malice." He activates the new skill, and then someone knocks on the door. He gets serious, goes to open it, and finds a skull guy with a creature behind him. Black Knight. Lin thinks, "Great, here comes another tough one. It's definitely one of those elite bosses," Lin thinks. The knight says, "Give me some combat assistance potions. Your reward will not be small." Lin receives a mission from the system. Prepare enough potions to satisfy the knight. He throws some potions on the table. "Sir, what kind of assistance potion do you want?" "The strength potion is our best seller. It increases your attack. Wanna try?" The Dark Knight gets excited and drinks it, but instantly responds, "This potion is trash. Its effect on my strength is ridiculous. Are you joking with me?" The crisis starts to rise. "Calm down, my lord. I have better potions. I'll choose another one here." Lin is scared. "Geez, if I can't make the potion this guy wants, will he resort to violence?" He picks another one. "Try this one. This will satisfy you. Maximum tier Berserker potion significantly increases abilities but puts the target in a Berserker state," Lin explains. The knight snatches it from his hand and starts to drink. Lin thinks, "This one can't go wrong," but the knight slams it on the table again. What a trash effect. This type of potion is only good for weak creatures. To me, it's almost insignificant. Lin tells him, "Calm down, sir. I'll get another one here. Just give me a moment." 20% crisis. "Take this one, trash." 30% crisis. "This one here, trash." 40% crisis. The crisis has already gone up to 91. Lin realizes the guy is about to attack him. The man has already reached for his sword. 97, 98. Lin says, "Just a moment, sir. Our shop has a potion that I'm sure will satisfy you. Just give me a little time. The potion needs to be made on the spot." It's one of the formulas provided by the system, and Lin is praying. It's at least decent. Good thing he received all the materials this morning. And the hardest part? A piece of meat from a root-level creature he got as a reward for taking care of the headhunter. Phew, it took a while, but it will be worth it. "This is the potion I made for you," Lin says. The knight asks, "Are you sure this is the best potion here?" "You better think carefully, boy. This time I'm going to cut you." Lin assures him, "This is the best there is." However, now everything depends on its effectiveness, of which he has no idea. The knight opens the potion and smells a stinky scent. Strange. The smell is horrible, but why do I feel like my power is increasing? Then he takes a big gulp while holding his nose. Lin just watches. The armored guy throws the bottle on the ground. This is it. This is the power I wanted. And I can clearly feel my body strengthening, Lin thinks. He says, "Sir, this potion really has an explosive effect. However, I need to be responsible and remind you that it has a tiny little side effect. I'm just not quite sure what it is, but it exists." The knight replies, "Side effect? Look at this explosive physique. This terrifying power. I'm not even afraid of death, let alone a little side effect." But then a breeze from the door blows in and… "Wow, man, the guy went bald," Lin observes. The knight sees the look on Lin's face and asks, "Are you in shock? Look at these perfect muscles." Lin nervously swallows and stutters, "Patient?" The side effect appeared. The knight says, "Side effects? I don't feel anything." But then he touches his head and the two stare at each other. "My hair! My hair!" He hits the ground. "Is this the effect you mentioned?" The two fall silent. He goes to the mirror and strikes a ZYZ pose. "So what if I'm bald?" The important thing is true strength. When he looks in the mirror, his bald head looks like a shining lamp. Then he says, "Hey, I don't mind being bald, but why do I look like a lamp?" Lin replies, "I guess these special effects make you more unique, right?" The knight, now covering his head, asks, "How many of these potions do you have?" Lin says, "Well, including the one I gave you, I have 10 more." The knight immediately shouts, "I'll take them all." The protagonist replies, "Are you sure you can handle the effects?" The knight grabs him, points to his head, and says, "Give me everything. No dawdling or I'll kill you." In the next scene, the knight is already leaving the shop with his shiny bald head. Lin waves goodbye, "Come back anytime." We then see the Black Knight wandering around the ruined world. He jumps off his horse and confronts a demon hunter. "There you are. I thought you were going to run," the Black Knight says. The demon hunter, unfazed, replies, "I thought you were afraid to face me." "But perfect, I've been waiting for you for a long time, Black Knight." The knight draws his sword. "Today, either you or I will die." The hunter responds, "You were no match for me decades ago, and it's still the same." But the knight pulls out the potion. It's still uncertain who will emerge victorious. Suddenly, he starts exuding a purple aura. The hunter recognizes the powerful effect and says, "Even with all possible medicine, the gap between us won't close." At that moment, he notices something strange. "Huh?" It seems like there's something shining on his head. How odd. There's even a sound effect. The hunter says, "Wait, it shines again." "What's that?" "Apparently, Black Knight, you have a very powerful secret trap." The knight responds, "I'm not carrying anything." The hunter, confused, says, "My God, but the shine is blinding." The knight then reveals, "This is the small price I'm willing to pay to defeat you. Today I will bury you." The hunter thinks, "Damn, he's too bright. I can't see his movements." But he skillfully dodges as the knight's sword strikes the ground. In the next scene, someone knocks on Lin's door. When Lin opens it, it's the hunter, looking all battered and bruised. Lin asks, "Just one day and you're already this messed up? Again?" The hunter stumbles in and says, "Cut the chatter and just fix me up. I'll pay you double." The system issues a mission as the hunter collapses in a chair, saying, "I ran into an old subordinate of mine who was never a match for me. But today, for some strange reason, he was incredibly strong. Every attack he made was a critical hit." Lin asks, "A critical hit?" The hunter replies, "Yeah. The cursed guy had a shiny bald head. It blinded me the whole time, and I couldn't defend myself. I'm sure it happened after he took that potion. If I find out who gave him that potion, I'm gonna tear them apart." Lin thinks, "Uh-oh, could that be me?" Seems like he's the demon hunter the knight wanted to defeat. A few minutes later, Lin says, "All right, all done. I've got some healing tonics here. 200 coins each, and you won't even need surgery." But just then, the hunter notices a bottle on the table. "Hey, that's the same potion that bald guy drank." He looks straight at Lin and says, "Playing innocent, huh, kid? I didn't expect it was you who gave him that potion." Lin replies, "To the bald guy? Was he a Black Knight on a horse?" "Yeah. So what?" "Well, if that's the case, he did come to my shop and bought a lot of potions. He was really generous and gave me 10,000 coins." The hunter asks, 10,000? What kind of potion costs that much? Lin strikes a pose and thinks, "My money-making hands have arrived." He starts his pitch. "How many potions did that old guy buy?" I want several too. Money's no issue. Hurry up and prepare them. Lin checks his stock and brings out 10 critical potions, plus the one he used to heal the hunter's arm. The hunter throws down the money and laughs. Nice doing business with you. Lin just smiles and thinks, I guess he forgot to mention he'd go bald. But with that, he completes the system mission. Happy with the profit, Lin thinks. I made a ton of money today. Wait a minute. With this potion going around, everyone's going to end up bald. I should start a hair transplant business. Buy a critical damage potion. Get a hair transplant free. I'm gonna make a killing. Meanwhile, we see the bald knight searching. That cursed hunter was badly injured. He didn't get far. I can sense his presence. He's nearby. I need to kill him. This will seriously boost my ranking in the dark world. It's been centuries. I can't miss this chance, the Black Knight thinks. Suddenly, he senses something approaching from behind and quickly turns around. Found you? Wait, what's this light? What's coming? Why do I feel like it's familiar? The hunter's appearance has become even more grotesque. What a massive head! The knight is startled. Is it you? The hunter says. Now we're gonna finish this. The knight tries to calm the situation. Relax, guys. Yes, I might be bald now, but I got a lot stronger. You thought you were the only one who'd go bald. Now that I am too, you better step aside, the knight says confidently. Humph, looks like we're back to square one. But mine shines brighter than yours, the hunter retorts. The knight focuses, raising his head's brightness to 300 lumens. Yeah? Then check this out. I just cranked up the frequency. My shine is brighter than yours. The hunter's skull emits light up to 400 lumens. Mine's brighter. The two start a ridiculous contest to see who shines brighter. Suddenly, the hunter lashes out. Take this sword strike! Enough with the jokes. Why'd you go bald like me? Copying me, huh? You must die. The fight begins in earnest, with an open exchange of blows. Meanwhile, back in the shop, Lin earns an achievement as a potion seller. Plus, he levels up to 6 and unlocks a new ability, the vision function. He's confused about what this new ability does. What does that do? Lin wonders. The system explains that it's an illusory domain, a mirror of things that have existed for thousands of years in this dark world. He can communicate with other creatures using this vision. Lin thinks it feels like he's in a consciousness field. In this place, everyone has an attribute window. Lin's panel shows he's a human from another world with no identity, 1,000 coins, and a medium danger ranking. He notices only a few ghosts around him. Suddenly, he receives a message, blood. The message warns that a battle is happening in Ghost Alley. A hunter versus a black knight. Anyone who wants to watch has to pay 20 coins. He asks, how does this work? Can you really get information like this? He pays the 20 coins and gets transported. Wow, am I in Ghost Alley? The visuals are so immersive, and I can really hear the sound of a fight happening. He looks around and spots who's fighting. Is it the hunter and the Black Knight? They're at it again. A message alerts that it's the Black Knight, ranked 171, against the hunter, ranked 143. In the chat, everyone's talking about the fight. What's this? Why does it feel like I'm watching a live stream on YouTube? I didn't know this dark world was so modern. Well, if I can expand my business in this vision world, that would be awesome. He checks out the conversations and notices there's a regional chat. He's amazed. Wow man, it's just like an online game. In the chat, someone says, be careful with that doctor's shop. When I went there, he was on top of someone with a chainsaw taking everything apart. Another user, named The Doll, wrote something too. Yeah, that human doctor is super weird. I went there, and he stuck his hand down my throat, just to pull out a doll's arm. It still hurts. Lin is confused. Why is everyone bad-mouthing our good shop? Oh no, I've got to talk to them. My business will tank if this keeps up. At that moment, he saw the bloodthirsty ghost's profile and clicked on it. It looked like he'd accessed her Instagram, and in a post, she was burning. The ghost said, yesterday, when I went to the shop, he was doing something strange with your daughter. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't normal. Lin realized he was in deep trouble. Now she knows everything. He quickly clicks to exit the Vision world and returns to the shop. Wow, I've got to hurry and close this door before she gets here. But just as he's about to close it, a female hand stops him. She enters asking, hello child, closing the shop so early today? Are you afraid someone might enter? Lin thinks, now I'm really in trouble. She's here. He replies, it's just that I'm not feeling well, so I wanted to rest a bit. Her favorability drops. She places her hand on his shoulder and says, "Ah, is that so? What a shame. I just wanted to express my gratitude for taking care of my daughter." The crisis level rises to 79. Lin says, "No need, really. It's something I'd do for anyone. Thank you." Just as Lin reaches for the Chicago Kid's toy in his pocket, the mysterious woman suddenly appears right in front of him. "Why won't you accept my sincere expression of gratitude?" she asks, her tone turning menacing. Lin suddenly finds himself in another mission to survive. At that moment, someone else enters the shop. "Young boy, are you closing?" It's the old butcher lady. The mysterious woman turns to look at her. Lin quickly replies, "I'm feeling a bit unwell, so I wanted to rest. How was your day, Grandma?" The butcher lady responds, "I'm old. Not many people care for my stories, but what you gave me today is very interesting." Lin tries to change the subject. "Don't worry, I have something new here for you." He then picks up the hair from the hunter and the skeleton. "Look, all I've gathered." The old lady questions, "When I was coming here, I saw two bald guys fighting. Did you shave their heads?" Lin chuckles nervously. "Yes, both of them are good customers." The old lady is amazed. "I didn't expect someone so peculiar to show up in our ghost alley. Everyone here seems to be connected to you, young man. It's very inspiring." Lin replies, "It's my pleasure to help everyone. If you'd like, you can come in and rest." The old lady warns him, "Be careful not to provoke spirits like her, or they'll torment you forever." Lin gratefully says, "If it weren't for you, I'd have been dragged off, right?" She nods and says, "You deserve to be protected." The old lady continues, "Without you here, Ghost Alley would no longer exist. But remember, Grandma will only help you this time. What happens from here on out isn't my concern." With that, she leaves. Lin glances at the clock, knowing he was lucky this time. He just wishes the boss would arrive soon to save his life. However, as time passes, the boss doesn't come, leaving Lin pacing back and forth, unsure what to do. "I could try staying in the shop and survive the day, but if I'm not as lucky as yesterday, I'll be eaten by monsters. I could go as a guest to the red dress woman's house, but that seems like an even worse disaster. No, I have to calm down. You know what? Let's go to the vision world to get some information." As soon as Lin logs into the chat conversation, he sees the witch talking to the burned ghost. He asks, "Majesty, did you kill that human child?" She responds, "I almost did, but the butcher arrived and saved him. But it's okay. I invited him to dinner tonight. If he comes, I have a little show prepared. And if he doesn't come, even better." Lin exits the vision world, scared. "What am I going to do? She says it'll be even worse if I stay. I have to take the initiative and go there. It's just dinner, right? What could possibly go wrong?" He opens the door and departs, arming himself. But as soon as he steps out of the shop, all the cursed creatures are staring at him. He starts putting more status points into vitality to increase his chances of coming back alive and heads toward the red dress woman's house. Upon arriving, he enters saying, "Miss, your visitor is here." But there's absolute silence. As Lin steps further into the house, he notices a bunch of bodies hanging there, all seemingly well and alive. But Lin, being a bit of a psychopath, instead of being scared, goes to poke them. "Ah, these aren't as pretty as me," he muses. He continues walking through the house until he finds the dinner table. But where's the witch? As he wanders about, we see that he's being watched through some kind of mirror. The witch addresses her minions. "Everyone, the doctor has arrived. It's time for him to meet us on the dark YouTube chat." The blood doll chimes in saying, "It's not good to kill Lin after all. If Bloodsaw comes back, he'll seek revenge." However, the burned ghost insists. He has to pay for everything he's been doing. In Ghost Alley, a skeleton asks, "Are you going to kill him?" The queen replies, "It would be too easy to kill him like that. Before he dies, I want to see terror on his face, to return 100-fold everything he did to my daughter." She snaps her fingers and orders the creatures in her house, "Let's just see how he's going to die." Meanwhile, Lin is sitting at the dinner table, already sleepy, waiting for the girl. Suddenly, a bunch of chains descends next to him, bringing all the bodies closer. Lin mutters to himself, "The creatures are moving. What a crazy hallucination. Surely a bunch of walking bodies didn't just fall here, right?" But when he looks to the side again, they're all coming closer. "Oh crap, It's not an illusion. He stands up, closes his eyes, and when he opens them again, the bodies are even closer. He tries to calm down, thinking, so they move when I don't look. Lin realizes that if he doesn't look at the creatures, they won't move. But the problem is that they're getting too close, and he can't even blink. He stands frozen, trying not to blink. But when he finally does, the creature is right in his face, leaving him in shock. The viewers in the live chat are impressed, recognizing that only the great Blood Queen could create such terror. They speculate that Lin must be about to pee himself, knowing that when he blinks again, the creature will bite his neck. The queen tells everyone to relax, as this is just the appetizer. The real fun is yet to start. However, when she looks back at the screen, she sees Lin examining the creature's mouth instead of panicking. The live audience is confused about what he's doing, but Lin is simply doing his job. The doll in the chat asks, what did he take out of the mouth? Was that a gold tooth? That thing's worth a lot in the human world. The queen insists that Lin is just pretending to be calm, but the truth is, Lin isn't scared at all. While everyone else is thinking he's planning something to escape, Lin is more interested in the creatures. He pulls out his work tools and everyone's clueless about what he's going to do next. Suddenly, he uses a blade and stabs it right into the creature. What the? The Blood Queen gasps, feeling the pain in her own dark soul as Lin starts fixing up the creatures one by one. The chat explodes with confusion. The burned mummy asks, is he really doing this? Seriously? Lin moves behind another creature, applying the same treatment. The chat continues to buzz with comments about how something is definitely strange with this guy. He seems to be getting more excited the more mummies appear. Now Lin is staring down the remaining mummies, ready for the next round. The queen, growing increasingly frustrated, decides to lift the curse and orders all the creatures to attack him at once. Another creature lunges at Lin, but he's now full of confidence. One by one, the creatures fall as Lin cuts them up with precision, making the same clean cut every time. The queen is mortified, realizing she's getting embarrassed in front of her audience. Meanwhile, the live chat is full of admiration for Lin. Damn, this guy is incredible, isn't he? One viewer comments. As Lin heads for the door, the chat wonders if he's trying to escape. But no, he pauses, listening carefully. Wait, what's that sound? I know I've heard it before. Suddenly, Lin's expression changes as he pulls out an electric saw and charges back at the creatures, finishing off the remaining mummies with brutal efficiency. However, as Lin continues his rampage, his sanity begins to slip. The live chat is buzzing with confusion, and one ghost comments that the queen will need to use more cruel methods. This guy's worse than his boss, someone adds. Lin then receives a notification that the Blood Doll's fear of him has reached its maximum, and oddly enough, his popularity is skyrocketing. Huh, what's happening? So many names. I know them, but none of them are here. How strange, Lin muses. He pulls something from his coat, pours it into a cup and drinks calmly. This wine is really good, he remarks, seemingly oblivious to the chaos around him. The doll advises the queen that it might be better to let Lin go, but the queen insists that this is just the beginning. She has something much more merciless planned. She pulls a lever, and Lin suddenly feels something behind him. Turning around, he sees a painting staring at him, its eyes following his every move. Huh? Why is there a human painting in this place? Lin wonders as he approaches it. The eye in the painting starts moving, and just as Lin is about to touch it, he feels a cold hand on his shoulder. He spins around to find himself face to face with a hideous creature. Wow, what's this? She's ugly, Lin says, unfazed. Hey. Nothing seems to scare him anymore. In the live chat, viewers are commenting that if they had gone through what Lin has, they would have definitely peed themselves. The queen watches, increasingly anxious, realizing that Lin's calmness is unsettling her more than anything else. The Blood Queen, frustrated, urges Lin to start screaming and begging for forgiveness. She wants to see him on his knees, begging for mercy. But Lin, unfazed, simply says, "Hi, cutie. How are you?" The chat explodes in shock. What's happening? Lin pulls the ghostly girl close, saying, I know she called you here just to be part of this horror show, but don't worry about that. Just come sit here with me and have a good meal. The ghost girl tries to cast a curse on him, but Lin notices and gives her a slap across the face. The chat is left utterly puzzled. While Lin casually warms up his arm, The poor girl's head flies off her shoulders. He calmly picks up her head, looks at it affectionately, and says, "Don't scare people like that. How about you be a quiet little girl?" The ghost, terrified, wonders how he can touch her. Lin explains that he's a pharmacist and a doctor who deals with evil spirits all the time. He's always under the effect of a potion that allows him to touch spirits. Otherwise, how would he operate on people? The ghost girl, somewhat reassured, says, "Okay, cool then." Lin, coming closer, introduces himself. "It's a pleasure meeting you. My name is Lin. Can I get to know you better?" The burned ghost in the chat starts to sense that something is off. Is anyone else noticing something strange going on here? Meanwhile, the Blood Queen remembers, "Damn, I forgot this guy was like this." The more terrifying the situation, the more he enjoys it. The ghost girl, freaking out, tries to scare Lin by showing him her gruesome, exposed brain, confident that this will finally frighten him. But Lin just stares at it with interest. Lin, seemingly fascinated, says, interesting, and starts falling even more in love. The ghost girl, now completely freaked out, tries to run away, shouting, "Get away from me!" But Lin, still calm, says, "No, don't go. Come back." He catches her before she can escape through the wall. Lin reassures her, "I know you're trying to scare me, but you're not very good at it. Come here, and I'll teach you what real terror is." The ghost girl, now curious and scared, asks, "What do you mean?" Lin explains, "Didn't you hear? I'm going to teach you how to really scare people." He takes her hand and places it on his chest. "Can you feel it? The pulsing blood. What you're holding is my heart." The ghosts in the chat watch wide-eyed, while Lin's sanity begins to slip further. He gets closer to her face and continues, "To truly terrify someone, you need to feed fear slowly into their hearts. They should feel a tightness in their chest, and when they look into your eyes, they should feel as if their heart is about to be ripped out." The ghost girl, now in complete panic, is at a loss for words. Even the Blood Queen is in shock. Then, just as the tension peaks, Lin suddenly shouts, "Boom!" scaring the ghost girl half to death. As the scream echoes through the house, everyone in the valley starts losing their sanity, spiraling into madness. The live chat is full of viewers who are now too terrified to continue watching. Viewers start turning off the stream. "This is getting too scary," they say. Even the queen is rattled. Lin, seeing the reaction, says, "Ah, I was just playing with you. This isn't my heart. It's the heart of a faceless demon. What did you think? Pretty good, right?" He continues, "That lesson was perfect. You need to learn how to use visuals, sound effects, and the element of surprise to really scare someone." He looks at the ghost girl, who's now in a state of utter despair, crying, "Don't come any closer, get away from me!" Lin receives another notification, this time from the blood doll, indicating that her fear of him has reached a new height. The hairless ghost and the burned mummy are also left in terror. Lin is confused. What's going on? Am I gaining experience points from these people? Are they viewing this as a reality show? In the vision world, the little doll is pleading with the queen. "Please, turn off this live stream. This makes no sense anymore. This guy isn't normal." The skull maniac chimes in. "You said you were going to scare him, but now everyone here is scared. Turn it off." The queen, infuriated, exclaims, "Darn it, he was supposed to be the one embarrassed, but now I'm the one getting humiliated. You know what? I'm turning off this live stream right now. I'm going downstairs and I'm going to kill him myself. Just wait for the news tomorrow." The Blood Queen, furious, slams the table and glares at Lin through the mirror. Meanwhile, Lin nonchalantly examines a photo, oblivious to the ghost twirling a corkscrew beside him, echoing the same sentiment. The mummy warns the queen, "You better not hesitate. Get in there, grab his neck, and kill him." The queen, already transforming into her demon form, retorts, "Relax. This time his head will be a decoration in front of my house." She turns into liquid form, slipping through the ceiling and dripping down below, reappearing before Lin. "I've tolerated you for too long," she hisses, "but now I'm going to kill you." Just then, the ghost tells the queen, "Master, he said he was getting impatient, so he went to find you. Maybe he just went back outside." The queen, frustrated, thinks, "Ah, this kid. Even the creatures in my house are avoiding him now." She spots Lin passing by a window and rushes to catch him. When she arrives, Lin is calmly holding the little girl in his arms. The queen demands, "Let go of my daughter." But Lin casually responds, "That's not how you treat a visitor. You invited me here for dinner, but I haven't even eaten yet. Just try to scare me down there." The queen, ignoring his small talk, snaps, "You know very well what you did to my daughter. Don't try to deceive me with the same lies you told during the day. Clearly it was you who changed her appearance, pretending it was a reflection of her kindness and beauty. You need to be torn apart now." Lin raises 3 fingers, swearing, "I don't know what they told you, but I swear I had no intention of deceiving you." At that moment, lightning strikes. Lin, trying to be clever, remarks, "How crazy, right? I don't know why that lightning struck right at my promise. Does it increase the credibility of my words?" The queen, unimpressed, approaches menacingly, and Lin, realizing the danger, falls back onto the bed, quickly confessing, Okay, it was me. But madam, you have to understand, I had no ill intentions." The queen, still not convinced, tells him to stop making excuses. Lin desperately explains, "She was horrible. Her head was about to explode. I was afraid that when the pig came back, he wouldn't even recognize his own child. Everything I did was with good intentions." The crisis is reaching its peak at 97%. The queen gets even closer, and Lin, raising his arms in surrender, pleads, "I surrender. But there were other reasons too, I swear." The queen demands, "Explain." Lin continues, "I was really afraid of dying. Your child was a monstrous baby, and I thought she was going to kill me." The queen, slightly understanding, says, "That excuse is reasonable. After all, she is my daughter." Lin, sensing an opening, adds, "I wanted to get my hands dirty, to see if I could create something aesthetically pleasing to me." The queen, now puzzled, asks, "Wait, are you telling me you were squeezing my child as practice? Is that your reason?" She grabs his arm angrily, but Lin quickly defends himself. "Calm down. It was just that I wanted to create a really cute little girl. So I made a small modification, you know." The queen, losing patience, snaps, "Enough of this," and prepares to attack. Lin, panicking, blurts out, "I have a background." The queen, intrigued, pauses. "Background? What do you mean?" Lin, seizing the moment, explains, "As you know, I'm a doctor. I've taken care of many people who have benefited from my services, and they are all my friends." Lin continues his desperate plea. "If you kill me, my friends will be really angry, and they'll come to avenge me. For example, those 2 bald guys who are fighting to the death." The queen, skeptical, asks, "Are you talking about the demon hunter and the Black Knight? Are they your friends? You think I'm going to believe you?" Lin, pulling out 2 pistols from his pocket, responds, "You don't have to believe me, but you must recognize these, right?" The queen's eyes widen in disbelief. "Wait, those are the hunter's revolvers." Lin nods. "Exactly." She demands, "Why do you have the hunter's revolvers, which he values so much?" Lin explains, "It's because he and I are of the same race, and he's very fond of me. So he gave me these weapons for personal defense." He continues, "He told me that if I'm ever in danger, I just need to fire a shot, and he'll come to help me immediately. As you know, he's on the other side of the alley. 1 bullet, and he won't take long to be here." The queen, realizing the gravity of the situation, sees Lin reach into his pocket again. "Oh, right," Lin says, pulling out a small item. "There's also this." The queen, once more confused, asks, "What's this? A strand of hair?" Lin proudly explains, "This is a lucky charm given to me by the Black Knight." The queen, even more puzzled, asks, "Is that the knight's hair?" Lin confirms, "Exactly. Today, when I gave him a haircut, he said I might need it and handed it to me. It has a curse on it." The queen, now curious, asks, "A curse? What curse?" Lin, with a smirk, explains, "If anyone tries to attack me, he'll know because the hairs on his chest will stand up. Just think about it. Do you think he would let anyone shave off all his hair? But I did, and nothing happened." Lin, still bluffing, continues, "Doesn't that already prove my relationship with him?" Meanwhile, the poor guy is coughing, adding to the tension. The Blood Queen starts to think, "Darn it. I've fought both the Demon Hunter and the Black Knight, and they were tough. I'm sure anyone who could shave their heads wouldn't be alive. So this weak human must really have connections. Hey, she tried to scare me, but I was smarter." But suddenly her expression changes. "You're trying to deceive me again, aren't you?" She snaps. "The Hunter and the Black Knight have been enemies for hundreds of years. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So there's no way they both could be your friends. Did you think I wouldn't figure out your charade? Lin, ever the smooth talker, lets out a small laugh. You don't know, do you? The queen, puzzled, asks, Ah, what? Lin smirks. They seem like mortal enemies, but in reality they're lovers. They love and kill each other. What the heck is this? Both even felt something there. Stop the fight. Curse night, I've been sneezing non-stop. The queen, bewildered, demands, What trick are you using? Meanwhile, the Black Knight is elsewhere, sneezing and thinking, It's you who's cursing me in your mind. Back with Lin, he's getting smug in his chair. Ah, I only mentioned those two. But you don't even know about my teacher, do you? The real blood saw. Do you know how many people he's cut through? As his only apprentice, do you have any idea what will happen if you kill me? Not to mention, the butcher is also my friend and treats me like her own grandchild. Imagine if I die. Lin, growing more confident, says, I think she wouldn't like that. The queen, increasingly conflicted, thinks, What a mess. I just want to behead him. But all these people are not easy to deal with. Lin senses victory is near and pulls out a pebble. Ah, do you know what this is? The queen, suspicious, asks, What's that? Lin explains, This is a fragment from the tooth of an abyssal creature. The queen's eyes widen in horror. Wait, is that from the jaunt mouth that cleaned the streets yesterday? I barely escaped and made it here. An existence even king-level creatures would flee from. And this boy here got something from its tooth. You know how many people died in the alleys nearby? Why do you think the Valley of Wandering Souls was the only one spared? The queen, still in shock, asks, Why? Why? Lin, with a dark grin, explains, It's obvious. Because the headhunter is my friend. He begins to weave a tale. A long time ago, a powerful monarch appeared in this dark world. Under his leadership, they conquered empires, and he amassed an army of millions of warriors. However, the arrogant monarch offended a root-level creature and tried to make it surrender. As a result, that monster killed all creatures in a single day. Only the bones of that once glorious realm remained. When the crown of that lord fell to the ground, another rule was created in this dark world: never offend one of the headhunters. The queen, now trembling, mutters, Impossible. The realization dawns on the queen. If Lin is truly friends with a creature like the headhunter, she's in deep trouble. He's friends with that creature. I might survive the others, but if it's a headhunter, there's no way. They have various methods to find me and obliterate me before I can escape. Lin, sensing her fear, stands up confidently. Madam, I may be quite weak, but my interpersonal relationships are strong. However, there's no reason for you to be mad at me. After all, we're neighbors. As neighbors, we should look out for each other, help each other, and even keep each other warm. What do you think? The queen, taken aback by his audacity, retorts, What's this, buddy? You're such a mature big sister. She looks at him, realizing he's smiling that darn smile again. Despite her anger, she can't help but laugh. She wants to attack but holds back. Reluctantly, she returns to her human form. All right then, she says. We can get along for now, but I'll put up with this for a while. Eventually, though, I'll kill you, boy. Lin sighs in relief. Phew. Thankfully, the words I told you this morning weren't completely false, you know. Although the talk of your kindness was nonsense, you really do have some qualities that other spirits don't possess. The queen, now somewhat charmed, asks, What qualities? Lin, ever the flatterer, approaches her and says, Ah, your beauty and your care. I can see it. This room here is all tidy, isn't it? Your entire house may be a mess, but look how cute you've made everything here. The queen, shaking her head, thinks, There he goes again, trying to deceive me. Silly. Lin, ever the smooth talker, continues, No, I just did this casually. But I can see it. The chairs, the tables, everything here has a refreshing feel to it. It's not something an evil spirit could create, especially this beautiful flower. The queen blushes furiously. It's nothing like that. Lin presses on. Hey guys, our crazy doctor is back. Do you remember that in the last chapter? He ended up at the house of the little red witch? And Lin is unstoppable. He says to her, I remember you saying you didn't like her being cute, right? So explain this to me. Why is she wearing this hand-sewn wool outfit? Can I know? The witch defensively replies, No. It wasn't me. But Lin counters, "You don't need to explain anything else. Just admit that you love seeing your cute little daughter. There's nothing wrong with that." He continues, "In a way, she reminds you of yourself, since even though you're an evil spirit, you still have a human heart." The more he talks, the prettier the witch becomes. She's thinking, maybe I really can't forget about my human life. If I hadn't died that day, I would just be a normal woman. I would have gotten married and had a daughter. However, reality was different. Lin's words are hitting home. She reflects, "I've already died, and now I'm an evil spirit, and that's why I have no choice but to accept the evil identity of this world. My humanity has already been buried in the deepest part of my consciousness." The system warns Lin that he managed to break some of the spirit's hatred, but he's unstoppable. Determined to end all her hostility, Lin makes an offer. "Madam, I don't think you like being an evil spirit very much. If you want, I can help you become permanently human." The queen, skeptical, responds, "Huh? You think you can stop kidding yourself just because you fixed my daughter? Do you think you can do the same with me? You don't understand. Her evil spirit hadn't taken shape yet, but mine already has." She starts to transform her leg into a bloody mess, causing Lin to react. "Wow, it's getting really ugly. Stop it." The queen continues, "I don't think you've seen a truly corrupted spirit yet. Are you still confident in changing me? I am the embodiment of all that's damnation, pain, and resentment. Do you think you can solve this with your hand?" The little girl, now crying, is distressed as the queen's anger and corruption intensify. Lin, feeling the pressure, thinks, "I'm screwed. She's so ugly it's beyond my knowledge. But I need to stay calm. If she realizes I'm scared, she'll eat me." The crisis is nearing 100%. Lin closes his eyes and decides to use the curse correction ability he received. The system warns him to be careful because her curse is extremely corrupted, and not everything may go as planned. Undeterred, Lin uses the curse removal. A glow emanates from his hand, and little souls begin ascending to heaven. He manages to undo the curse. The process leaves the little witch naked, and Lin is left holding a crown. The system confirms, curse removed, recharge time, 12 hours. Lin says confidently, "I told you it wasn't a lie." The queen, confused, asks, "How did you pull the curse out of me?" Lin, now with a boost of confidence, responds, "I told you, I'm a doctor, and I never abandon my clients." Behind him, the little girl is celebrating, while Lin's AdSense is sweating bullets. But Lin is puzzled. It seems she's gone crazier without the curse. A little later, Lin is with the child, waiting for the mother to return from the room. When she finally does, she apologizes. "Sorry for making you wait. It took me a while to change clothes." Lin, now blushing, wonders, is this someone else? The queen, looking more dangerous with all her charm, apologizes for her earlier behavior. Lin reassures her, "It's okay, we're neighbors now. Helping each other is what matters." The queen, blushing, admits, "I didn't expect you to actually remove it all like that." Her favorability towards Lin skyrockets. Lin warns her, "I removed the curse, but not permanently. In 24 hours, you'll return to your original appearance." She smiles and replies, "Only 24 hours? If I come to visit you often, will it be permanent?" Lin confirms, "Yes, but if you always come to visit me, it will be permanent." The queen's smile widens as she eagerly agrees. "Really? Can I come to your shop every day then?" Plus 20/20 favorability. He gives a thumbs up saying, "Of course. I'll even give you a 20% discount." Slyly thinking, not only did I solve the crisis, but I gained a lifelong customer. However, she's all excited, asking a discount. "Do I have to pay anything?" Our boy says, unfortunately, it consumes a lot of his energy. And since their shop is a small place, it's just a small fee, nothing major. She's there saying, "Okay, so what's the price?" Then, Lin is confused. "Why are you talking so much about money? You were very powerful. You must have money at least." She says that. Actually, she doesn't. She never cared much about it. Usually what she likes is to consume the person. She comes blushing, staring at our boy, who says, "It doesn't matter. If you don't have money, you can pay with other things. Body parts, herbs, curses. I accept." She then makes the best offer. She approaches asking, "Is this okay?" Our boy takes a step back, now blushing, and she's already pulling down the strap of her dress. She throws herself and looks at the sly smile, but he says, "Madam, please respect yourself." She says, "Earlier you called me baby. Why not call me that again?" Our boy is there trying to stop her. "Our shop doesn't accept these kinds of pain payments," she asks. "But didn't you say you would accept anything as long as it was valuable enough? Or do you believe I'm not worth that?" Lin is lost. "What do I do? I'm just an innocent teenager. She's too powerful for me. She has over 100 years of experience. He's just looking. No, I'm losing my chance to make money and this will drain my energy." But she's already in his ear. Hesitating, he closes his eyes. "I can't," and pushes her away. But the witch asks, "What's wrong? Have you never been intimate with a friend?" Our hero says nothing. She insists. Not even a kiss. Not even held a hand. The system says you feel extremely humiliated. She then says she will teach him step by step like a little teacher. Man, I don't know what happened, but he's sitting on the bed. And the system sent the achievement. Congratulations on receiving the achievement. An incredible first time. He really tamed the little monster blonde. He doesn't forgive at all. Her favorability towards him increased by 50 more. He gained 400 experience. She even has to put her stockings back on, telling him that he better wait, because next night she will come back again. He takes care of her. She takes care of him. Wow. This doctor pays too much attention to his patients. She even squeezes his shoulder and says every time he removes the curse, she will teach him a new, powerful technique. Our boy runs off.